Do Good Business with Vati of Sweden. Business for SDGs Change Leaders. Episode 7. Romi Sumaria.
Hi, Romi. Welcome to this show with me. How are you?
Great. Thank you very much, Eva, for having me and for putting this incredible course together.
Yeah, it was really awesome to have you on the course. And I would like you to just introduce yourself about what are you doing and where are you at? Because you're not in Sweden.
Yes, so it's been an interesting year for myself. My name's Romi Sumaria for anyone who's watching this. I'm the CEO and founding partner of a company called the Oblique Life. Oblique Life is our mission is basically to bring people together. We want to use the power of community to not just help people engage and build strong relationships, but also to share their knowledge, collaborate, and in the end have a positive impact on society. I guess in a crazy way, we have this bigger vision of uniting the world through people. And if we can bring these change makers and the people that want to make a difference for the next generation, then at least we put ourselves in a place where we can make the world that we live in a better place.
Yeah, I love it. I think that's awesome. And I think it's so important to have these kind of networks where people can feel a belonging to, also to do their work and to meet people that are in the same, sense of wanting to doing good for the world.
No, 100%. And I also think that, we need to learn from each other. We need to hear our journeys. We need to share those stories. And then we can also inspire. And I think by embracing the difference, by embracing knowledge, by embracing experience, people can then realize they're not alone in what they're trying to do. They also can realize that maybe what they're doing is not the best way, and they can learn from somebody else. So like you said, it's important to come together. But I think it's very important to create a diverse group. And that's something we're very passionate about, is including as many different types of people as possible, and also respecting everybody's difference of opinion and thought process, because it's through those differences that you actually find the best solutions.
Yeah, that's great. And you're based in UK, right?
So yeah, I'm based in the UK, but I've spent a big period of 2020 in Athens, just because of the whole way the coronavirus pandemic has kind of worked out. But yeah, we're based in London, and I think it's London is one of the biggest concentrations of diverse people and people who are really trying to do different things. So that's where the inspiration to start this community came from.
Great. So you took on the course Business for SDGs. And I would like to ask you, how did you benefit from the course? How have you been able to use the learnings from the course?
I think there's a few things. The first thing is the SDG framework is very, very broad. And I think it's a fantastic framework. And for the outside person, it's a great way to see that there is a plan for the world to move to a better place. But to actually implement it takes some time. You need to break it down. And I think what the course really gave me was a better structure of how to not just have this as a framework in the back and as an inspiration, but also be able to start understanding, okay, you have these goals, how can we translate them into real business, into real strategy, but also what tools can we use to and what theories and what ways can we break them down so that we can be more effective and can be understood and then also implemented. So that's what the course really gave me. And I guess the other thing was, it was other people who are passionate about them and who are with similar challenges and had similar questions. And I think that's what makes education courses so important, because you're not doing it alone, you're doing it with other people, and you can learn from their questions and their challenges as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. You were a couple of you were actually coming together, and you did some really good relationships also in the network, right? You had
Oh yeah,
some.
100%. I mean, I think one of the ladies, Karina, she actually became a part of our community, and she's
Yeah,
joined the Oblique Life. She's now a member, and that's the beauty of it, is you find people who are not just share the passion for the SDGs, but a bigger vision of life, and it's just really great to have had that opportunity to meet somebody from a different country, different
yeah,
place, but that shares the same values as you.
yeah. I think that's so wonderful. So what was your biggest achievement or transformational insight so far with the SDGs and the course itself?
I think the biggest thing for me personally was just it's actually the first step, and I think it's one of the things that I'm taking away with me, which in the work we do with organizations, we understanding which SDGs are most relevant is the first step. And I think that takes a lot of work. And I think what this course really helped me understand is, there's so much crossover between the different sustainable development goals, and they all have an important role to play, but it's important to be able to break them down, understand them individually, and then see which ones are most relevant to start with, and really focus on a few before you start trying to do everything together.
Yeah,
And I guess the other thing is also to start being able to map where the different SDGs fit in across the business cycle, because I think there are some which are probably going to affect every business cycle in a small way, but there are others which are more integrated into your particular business cycle. So it's being able to differentiate between what's like, I guess, a macro SDG and what's a real like micro SDG for your company. If
right.
I look at my economics background, and I think that was really interesting.
Yeah, and as you said, that to find focus is really important, and not to start with all the sub targets, because there are so many. So yeah, so finding
Also,
that focus. Yeah,
and I also think the sub targets are, I think we shouldn't take the SDGs too literally, in the sense that a lot of the sub targets are focused on maybe the developing countries, and it's to drive, obviously, we want to create a global equality. But for example, if you look at health and well-being, and some of the sub targets may not seem relevant in the
yeah,
Western countries, because we have public healthcare systems and we've established a lot more support. However, what coronavirus has shown is there are still weaknesses even in those healthcare systems. So it's not about saying, okay, well, that one's done. It's about how can you continue to drive it forward and make it better and stronger. So I think that's the other thing, was the sub targets again are just guides, and they're not for me to take super literally, but they're supposed to inspire you to say, and to look into what system you have and how can you make it better and stronger.
yeah, right. So yeah, actually, I mean, the SDGs and the sub targets, they were written for countries from the beginning, and still, but there are some good translations to businesses or companies also, how to use them, and I had that we have that in the course, the SDG Compass, actually, to look at some examples of how companies can use them, as you say, to also accelerate it, and to develop these targets for circumstances like the COVID-19, for example, and that's the beauty of it. So yeah. So what should people know about the online certification course? Because this is not a traditional course, like physically course. It's an online course. So what would you like to tell people about taking on this kind of a course?
I think when you come into the course, it's definitely more of a practical course, in the sense of try and come in with, if you're not coming in with your company that you're working for, and because the key thing is about having a case study or a company that you can really go deeper into and use as your, I guess, as your case study, or as your basis to apply the theories and the knowledge. So if you don't have a company that you're working for, try and really think about that before you join, or while you're starting it out. That's one of the priorities, I would say, is find a company you can really focus on, because then everything you're learning you can start applying to and start seeing.
Yeah.
The second thing is it is online, and there are some really amazing people. So take the time to interact with them, engage, make your extra effort to go on the kind of tutorials or the workshops, because that's what it's about as well. It's about building a network and engaging with other people who are passionate. It's not I wouldn't say it's like a purely academic course where it's all about knowledge and theory. It's about combining practical, a bit of theory, and also the people around you. So definitely take time to engage with the incredible people that are on it, and also try and have a focus point. I was lucky enough to have a company that I could work with, or at least use, even though my own company is a bit too small to apply a lot of the SDG framework.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean I can't be inspired by it and make sure that as it grows, I have it embedded in it. So yeah,
Absolutely.
it's about those different things.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And that's really important to know that, yeah, it requires a pilot company to bring in, because that is when people actually learn, when they're applying their newly acquired learnings into something, into a real case. So so actually a lot of people I have matched them with companies in Sweden, at least, because I have the network here, so they can apply their knowledge directly. But yeah, so you found another company, and it wasn't a British company, right? It was some
It was
other
a company based in Kenya. It was
Yeah,
in East
right.
Africa. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, it's actually a plastics company, and I guess it's plastic right now, probably one of the evils of the world. And
Yeah.
but in the developing countries, it's such an essential it's still essential for packaging and for
Absolutely.
the local populations, and it's also got some, it does have some benefits, but the point was the company was already, and we're looking to really rethink how they can change their model, really firstly look at a more circular model, and secondly it's how do they start innovating forwards as well, and trying to move to a way where they can continue to package in a clean way and change maybe the way they produce plastic, the raw materials in it. So there's a lot of change that needs to take place, but it was really interesting to work with a company that wasn't necessarily I would say a conventionally good company. It was I guess one up against the wall, and I think it was exciting to see the different changes that they're looking to make and how much they want to move forward for the next generation.
Yeah, that's fantastic, because that's the will to actually the willingness to move forward and to make these transformational changes. I think that's beautiful. So, Romi, you are on LinkedIn, right? And you have a big network. So who should connect with you on LinkedIn?
Oh, wow. I mean, I'm very open to different people. I'm always interested to connect with people who are passionate about community. I always say that anybody who's starting their own business, or anybody who wants to drive change, anyone who wants to support other people, definitely connect with me. And also, if you're looking for a community to be part of that embraces not just a network for opportunities with your work, or with people who are in different industries. If you want to look for people who want to have good conversations about life, about culture, social, focus on sustainability, hit me up. The Oblique Life is all about that. And we also work with a lot of organizations and trying to build a culture that's actually relevant for the next generation and for the future. So anybody who's got a company that maybe needs some support to develop their leaders or their future staff, or make their team stronger in these crazy times, hit me up, because that's what we're here for. We're here to help build stronger communities and to bring people together.
Yeah, do it. It's just to do it. Connect with Romi on LinkedIn. So thank you so much, Romi, for being here with me today. And I wish you the best of luck with your work and your network as well, or community. So thank you again for being with me here today.
No problem at all. And thank you, Eva, for a great course and for introducing me to some amazing people. Thank you.
Thanks.
Dare to lead. For more information and inspiration on how to contribute to a better world by doing better business, visit vateofsweden.com.